I'm not like very emotional, as Olga said. So for me, it's not easy to fall for someone.
She chose emotionally unavailable men because it seems like as she was growing up, she was taught to be afraid of men.
Like I follow my heart or just feel my guts. So like for example, yes, like I feel that something is not okay.
Okay, same question. How have the relationships been for you so far?
I'm more of a theory person than practice.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't have like a lot of experience.
Not like this love.
No, because like not because I don't know why. Maybe I just didn't meet my person, I would say.
Okay.
And like I'm not like very emotional, as Olga said. So for me, it's not easy to fall for someone. To open up. And like for example, usually I see when for example a good guy, but I'm seeing that it's not gonna work, so I won't start it. So like
Or you think
Maybe a little bit of a pessimistic outlook.
no, I
maybe
don't-
realistic
but
in her
yes,
reality.
also like I follow my heart or just feel my guts. So like for example, yes, like I feel that something is not okay. It's wrong. And really, like I wouldn't say that I was in love, really, like in love. No, I don't know. I'm just like that. It's not for me.
And she doesn't have a shortage of the experience of like male friendships. She has a lot of friends. She's really good friends with.
I wouldn't say like a lot, but like I have good male friends.
Yeah, and she's friends with the husbands of her girlfriends. She has a good relationship with
Those men.
yeah, even like sometimes she knows the couple from the very beginning, like maybe classmates, but sometimes she met the guy through the girl, and again, it's difficult not to be a good friend with her. She's
And
easy.
maybe in theory,
But-
just because like I know what I want, and like I know some like because I know what I want. I just don't do it. Like don't
Just
go,
don't know how to
don't.
get it.
No. I mean like I don't just. Some girls they constantly need a guy by their side. I'm not that
Some
type.
people.
I'm like if I.
Like you're comfortable being independent on your own.
Yes, exactly. And that it was always like this. So like yes. So
For
like,
both of us, actually.
yes, but like I mean, and for example, like Olga, she like met guys she fell in love with, and I just didn't meet the guys like with like really that I really liked so much that I wanted like. No, I had attempts, but no. I think that I sometimes chose men that because like some insecurity and like because yes, I didn't want to have children, so like I knew that like in general I don't want like to have like very strong and like long-term relationship. So
Okay.
I chose some men that were not affordable. Okay, it's okay to say affordable. like I mean like married guys or like
But no, they weren't available. They weren't emotionally available.
not emotional, but like in future that I
She knew
understand
they
that
would not be attached
it's
to her.
okay to have like a relationship, but not strong, but not like serious relationship.
No, this is
It was safer for me to have that.
right. Okay, hold on. Let me ask you a question, and then I want to address that by giving an example. First, just to make sure we check for the audience, can you say how old you are?
35.
You said it.
32.
Thank you.
She always forgets.
Yes.
Okay. All right. No. Now I want to relate something to you. So in a recent episode I posted, I was talking to these two young ladies who are in their early 20s, and one of them specifically, we were talking about, or she was telling us about how her mother, grandmother, and her aunt were telling her since she was young, how to be cautious about men. And so I learned by talking with her was that she chose emotionally unavailable men because it seems like as she was growing up, she was taught to be afraid of men. So it made sense that she chose the type of men that she chose because deep down, she didn't really want to commit to them because she was still secretly afraid of them, right?
That's so sad.
The reason why I bring that up to you, what is interesting, I'm not saying that this is the same story, but I'm thinking about what you said to me so far. You said dad was not very present. You said mom wasn't very present as well, but that's because they were working. And then you and your sister were being caretakers of your brothers. So part of it makes me think that, you know, you already talked about how you kind of missed that type of connection with your father because you said he didn't really pay attention to you as much. The thought that I have, I'm not saying this is true, but the thought that comes up for me is that you got so used and accustomed to being independent when you were very young that like it's hard for you to allow yourself to maybe be vulnerable with men.
Yeah.
So as you've gotten older, and the longer you do it, the more comfortable you get.
Yes.
So that as you're getting more older, it gets harder and harder for you to put yourself out there and actually allow a man to genuinely get to know you.
Especially when you're so comfortable being on your own. Like all the
Exactly.
things are covered. Like you have a place to live. You know
Like-
how to be you.
Yes, you don't have needs that you need to.
Right. Like you don't need him to come in there and like,
Yes.
hey, help me with housing,
Yes,
help me with
yes.
food.
Yeah.
You have all the
Yeah.
basic necessities and probably some
And I
additional
feel for
done.
kid is like something of a new thing because when you don't have the male presence all the time, so you don't know how to make space for him, and also if you don't
That's
have
a
a
big one.
habit of dating, again, how do you approach? This is like the first step. First, like you need to like someone enough to go out with a person, right? You need to
Yes.
make an effort, but it's like everything. It's like a circle. You don't have a habit. You don't have a habit of doing it at least a little bit, or like
Right.
a lot enough to like put on those shoes. You know, go out. So it's not that easy. So
Absolutely.
it does sound easy for some people, but for some it's not. It's not only like get dressed, it's mentally like, what do I say? Like this, how like do I look good? You know, usual girl stuff.
I think the mental is actually harder. I mean,
Exactly.
physically it's difficult too. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But I agree with what you're saying. Like
But-
it's hard to like what I think you said it
Yeah.
very well, Olga. You have to learn to hold space for somebody
Yeah.
else. So I'm so used to doing everything on my own. I don't need anybody else. And
I might need, but I don't know how to do it.
Well, some people say that, right? But the reason why I use the word need is because, and I'm going back to my previous point, in American culture, that's a source of conflict. There's this ongoing like debate about independence.
The women
and,
can do everything.
and I don't need men, or I don't need a man. And what I say as a man is I respect that. Like I respect a woman who's like, I have my education, I can take care of myself, right? But I'm gonna go right back to the point you just mentioned though. But in order for me to build a relationship with somebody, I have to create space for you to want to be around me, to get to know me, for me to learn about you, so that I can care about you and maybe love you one day. But if everything comes down to like, what can you do for me type energy, and I'm not saying you said that. That's the kind of conversations that we're having right now. It makes it very difficult for people to come together because it's like, I don't have space for you because all these criteria are already met. So what can you do for me? Nothing. So I'm just going to stay to myself. And then I think that keeps people lonely.
I think from our perspective, the thing is like we're not looking for a man like to fulfill some needs.
Sure.
We okay. Okay. We want a man like we choose a man because we want
to have
to have him in
as
our
a
life.
human being, not as
Yes.
like a cow. You know.
Just a human being, a partner, a lover, a husband, or whatever.
Not because
So-
we're lonely and we
because
don't wanna choose
yes,
ourselves.
so it's not like we want to get married, so we're looking anyone
Sure.
to get married.
We
No,
we
first
can have
we-
standards.
I think it's actually, sorry to I think it's easier to find a partner
Yeah.
if you look for a financial stuff. It's easy. Find somebody with money. You don't care about the. You know what I mean?
Or if you want to get married, just find
Yes.
a person who can
Everybody
be a
know how to
husband.
have
No.
children. You have sex. You get
So-
pregnant. You know.
The purpose is not fulfill something. Yes, build a family,
Like basic financial stuff.
get married or whatever. It's from another
It's
point.
more.
So yes, you meet the person and then you want to have it with him.
Sure.
So that's
Absolutely.
what we are going.
And it's more. It's harder.
Yeah,
It is.
exactly.
It is.
It's much more because it's basically it's
It's
like
more complicated.
it's basically like so like to meet someone and get a connection to like someone you need like some there should be like some 10,000 or whatever criteria that should match so you and the other person will have a match
Right.
so
No, I agree. No, and I think to your point, I think it is challenging, but on a good thing, when you have yourself situated, like you're stable in all parts of life, I think you take a more critical look at the type of people that you deal with,
Yeah,
or the type of people that you go for, or people that approach you. I mean, to put this out there too, men obviously like we're not used to women approaching us. We usually do the approaching, so you are putting yourself out there hoping that that she'll give you the opportunity. But going back to your point, I think that instead of thinking about it in terms of, because again, I know people get very fixated on words. Like when you say need, I like to define words because people get caught up on what you mean when you say these things. I would like to use the term enhance. So instead of thinking it in terms of I need this person because I'm deficient, I can't do it by myself, because that's sometimes how the conversation goes. How about we say, if I had another person, if I had a partner, they would enhance the quality of my life. Because yes, is my life good on its own? Sure, it's good. Would it be better if I had somebody who I could build with that I genuinely like to be around? Yes, it would fundamentally be better.
Exactly.
Maybe it's just the way we're framing the conversation. But I think that's where we kind of get caught. It's like this dilemma of female empowerment, which I am thoroughly in support of, and at the same time, what can you provide for me that makes me even want to give you the opportunity, which is how a lot of men feel. It's like, well, you're not really holding space for me, so what am I supposed to do?
What's the
I don't even know how to approach you, which we're going to get into that in a moment. I don't even know how to approach you or what to say, because the things that I think that you might want to do with me or might want to learn about me, it doesn't seem like you have room for me. Does that make sense?
yes
So I think, and again, this is why we have to have the conversations, and this is why it's hard. Because some of us are kind of approaching dating like this. We're very much like, my life's going like this, and my life's going like this. And if you can't find a way to fit in here, then bye. And I'm like, that's not how relationships work.
Yeah.
You can't, nobody's gonna 100% come your way. Again, compromise.
Nothing started yet. You already have demands.
Right.
How's it gonna be?
You have to make room for each other, so that way there is at least an opportunity to get a connection, to develop one over time, to see if they can become your partner for the long term, for whatever it is.